Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back to talk about more fantasy football draft help. If you guys do enjoy the video, leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace. Boys, if you guys are like my league, we start closer within the season. I think we're still 15 days, 16 days off kickoff. So we kind of wait towards like the last weekend of the league starting just because of contract situations, draft situations, trade, stuff like that, right? We wait a little bit longer. So if you're like that, I'm here to help you guys out with like more draft help in terms of specifically this video, your number one pick. Obviously, you want to nail the hammer on the head or hammer the nail on the head with this one. You obviously you want to pick a good player, right? You want to start off strong. You want to pick a person that has continuously shown results and given results. So your first pick is obviously always something that you want to get right because it's obviously the easiest pick, right? But sometimes you may find out that your first pick may be finish in the top 20, maybe top 25, and you're like, why is he not top 10? Because I picked him top 10. Why is he not top 10, right? So you want to pick someone that's going to guaranteed be in the top 10. Obviously, there's circumstances that may be past you, such as injuries, suspensions, trades, contract problems, whatever the case may be. It might not pan out, right? So number one thing for me is right here you could see that Google and statistics just prove that any player that was number one in the whole of fantasy the year prior is obviously inevitably going to have a drop off within the second years or the year afterwards. It's much like Jonathan Taylor, they highlight Todd Gurley, they highlight Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams. So in specific, I'm talking about Jamar Chase. Obviously, Jamar Chase, Triple Crown winner. He led the league in all stats. Obviously, Triple Crown winner, that's what that means. So what that means for me is that obviously you're still going to draft him high because he's Jamar Chase. Like, you're not going to pass up on him. But you might see a situation where T. Higgins might be a more valuable pick down the line. Maybe you have your eyes on a guy like Chase Brown. So if you're not getting Jamar Chase, maybe consider getting Chase Brown just because of how much stock there is going to be put into him, because obviously last year the Bengals didn't get into the playoffs. They lost because I think the Chiefs lost to the Broncos in the last game. They needed the Chiefs to beat the Broncos in order to get in, but that didn't happen. So I think a lot of analysts are predicting that the Bengals are just going to run the ball more often to take time off the clock, just so that way they don't end up in these shootout games, because sometimes Joe Burrow and the boys will go out there. They'll kind of score within 2 minutes, and it's like, okay, well, now the defense is back on the field, and the defense is tired, and they're scoring more points against us, and we have to put more points on the board, so we have to pass the ball more. So they're looking to see more output from Chase Brown due to that fact. So I love Chase Brown. I think he's a high second, maybe low third, depends on how good your players you're drafting against are, your league mates. And again, moving on to Jahmyr Gibbs, another one of those guys that super strong. You're hammering the nail on the head with this one to the first round. Ben Johnson leaving, it's going to create a lot of reliance on guys like Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're going to need them to perform still. But maybe for me, I think that you're going to see a breakout year for Jameson Williams. And they're going to find more ways to utilize him, especially him being a wide receiver 2, the speed demon. He had a great first couple games in the year. He's super fast, good at the deep ball. I think the Lions are going to learn to utilize him. Obviously, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra, Demo, and then Jameson's right up there for me in terms of value. So, moving on to Bijan Robinson. I still think that Bijan Robinson is the number one pick in every draft. He should be number one pick. I just think that's his skill set, his move set, the way they're going to utilize him. Atlanta Falcons obviously being a mid to low tier team. They're going to need him to win games. They're going to rely on him, right? They're going to want to put the team on his back. So he's going to be a workhorse. He's going to get the same output. He's going to be even stronger this year. He's going to gradually grow. You have Michael Penix Jr. now leading that team on offense. So I love Bijan Robinson. Like I said, it should be first pick in every draft. But this might surprise a lot of people. I'm actually looking towards a Kyle Pitts year. I know Kyle Pitts has been really bad the last, I don't even know how many years he's in the league now, but for me, I think he's actually gonna have a breakout year just because when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, they tend to look for their tight end way more often than not. Much like you saw with Justin Fields and Cole Kmet, Baker Mayfield, right? When things aren't going right, he always looks towards K-Dot and he looks towards those bigger targets because they're easier to hit. They're easy. They usually find soft spots in zones. They're kind of short passes. So they're not looking to make any mistakes. So that's why they look for tight ends. And I think Kyle Pitts is going to be kind of that safety blanket for Michael Penix Jr. Obviously, you have Drake London, Darnell Mooney. You still have those guys, but I don't think Darnell Mooney last year is going to have the same year as this one. I think Drake's going to be okay. I think that Kyle Pitts, if you're going to draft him, this is the year to draft him. I think he'll be strong. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe. I'll catch you next time. Peace.